Yeah, it's always great to receive an award, particularly in something like this that we've invested, so much time and energy in, um, with the research and developing the knowledge within the market space as well. It's absolutely awesome. So most of the traditional fire suppression systems are actually that they're fire suppression systems. One of the Through the research with the initial client that we were working with, we very quickly came to understand that this really isn't a traditional fire, in the sense that we look at when it comes to things like wood burning or even chemical fires to some degree, in that it's self-propagating. So you have a fire, but you also have thermal runaway. If you control the fire, which most traditional fire suppression methods do, you still have this underlying thermal runaway, this thermal event going on. And that's really where Fike Blue comes into its own, is we're addressing the underlying thermal event, not the kind of conditions that are occurring from that event. So with Fike Blue, what we look for is traditional detection methods. So smoke released, or gases released from the battery cell, could be hydrogen. Like I say, it could be optical smoke from when the thermal runaway event occurs. Fike Blue is then charged into a pipe network, and in the battery itself is a heat sensitive bulb. When the heat within the battery reaches around about 58 degrees, the bulb will open and release blue into the battery pack itself. And what blue will do then is it starts to absorb the heat. So the Fike Blue has a very, very high heat capacity. It's got a boiling point of over 400 degrees. So it's sucking all of the heat out of the initial cells that are going, or the initial cell that's going into thermal runaway, and stopping it from setting the next cell off into thermal runaway as well. Yes, so the initial markets that we've been working with have been mainly around large scale battery energy storage solutions for grid or grid backup storage. We have worked with smaller projects as well, and Fike Blue is adaptable to various sizes of project and is configurable for the amount of agent that we need. Something that we look to do with each client is what we call a battery hazard analysis, where we identify how much of the agent that we need to control the thermal runaway event. And again, one of the benefits of this is that tends to be a magnitude less than things like water or other agents. One of the problems, again, going back to water, because of the amount of water that you need to try and control an event like this, you have a lot of runoff that absorbs the toxic chemicals from the battery event, and you have to deal with that runoff from an environmental point of view. Because we need, like I say, a magnitude less agent, the amount of runoff is a lot less, and the environmental impact is a lot less as well. The cost of the system in comparison to most battery energy storage units of a grid scale, it is so insignificant, it makes so much sense to actually do it. If you start going down into very small handheld style lithium ion batteries, that no, it wouldn't make sense, and there are other kind of methodologies there that can be employed to work. So I mean, realistically, everything above domestic scale, commercially it makes sense to do this. So yes, there are already systems out there that employ Fike Blue and have undergone UL 9540A testing as well. Initially, we've done a lot of work out of the US, mainly because that's where our battery test facility is located. We started over the past few months working with clients across Europe, again, mainly on large scale battery energy storage units and second life batteries, which is something interesting to work with because you're having to adapt the system to the types of batteries that are being employed. One of the next steps that interests us is working with battery manufacturers, because some of the deployment methodology can be built into either the battery packs or the racks that they're going in, and there's some nice systems starting to come out with fire protection or event protection built into the racks. So that's really where we're looking to go next, is to try and build this more inherently into the systems, work with more clients. Every battery is different, so understanding more battery chemistries, how Blue works with those. Every test that we've done so far has been phenomenal. So it's really a case of more tests, more clients, and building out the product.